I decided to make this video to talk a little about why I got into being a juggalo and why I love juggalos and families. But this is also going to be a shots fired video because I see a lot of people getting on conservative juggalo podcasts, and I just gotta say that dude's a little bitch. He blocked me and he blocks my comments. So I'm gonna tell you why a conservative and a juggalo don't really go together. So what brought me into the juggalo world was I started bumping their stuff. I had a friend lend me the Bizarre Bazaar CD. Now I heard of ICP way back in the day, like around '98. First song I ever heard was Santa Was a Fat Bitch. And I started loving their shit. But I think I was only around 11 years old, so I wasn't like real diverse into that world yet. And then someone gave me the Bizarre Bazaar albums, and I started listening to those. And then I eventually fell in love with all the old records. I started picking them up. I started burning them off Napster, LimeWire, if you can remember those. And then when I had money, I'd pick that stuff up. And then I got into the Cottonmouth Kings, not because of Juggalos. I got into the Cottonmouth Kings because I saw their video on MTV2 at like 3 in the morning. And I saw the video for Peace Not Greed. And I was like, wow, this is a dope ass band. Let me check out their stuff. And after my parents split, my mom moved to Cali and I stayed in Texas. Well, when I went out to Texas, I remember going to, I want to say it's a Fry's, some type of local record store, and they had ICP's album on sale, and they had the Cottonmouth Kings High Society on sale. So I started looking at both albums, like, man, which one should I choose? Which one should I choose? And I saw that ICP was on the Cottonmouth Kings album. So I was like, fuck it, I get the both best of both worlds. I picked up that album and took it home and got into that whole culture. And what was really cool was I only knew like three people back in my high school that knew about the Cottonmouth Kings. So I started getting into them and I felt like, oh, cool, I can introduce people to this new movement, to this SRH movement. I started going to shows. I started like getting deep diverse with the SRH movement, going to concerts, checking out that roster, and then I started peeping out more ICP stuff, and then started getting into that. Got into Dark Lotus, like that totally fit my morbid childhood of trying to fit in, and I started getting like really into that music. And then as I started going to shows and started meeting people, started hanging out with some juggalos, some shady, but some really cool motherfuckers, you know? And um, I just, that whole thing of, well, we're friends, we're family. If something happens, I got your back. Like, we'll just hang out, smoke blunts, chill, listen to music, just really kind of fit in with kind of being an outcast. And then I loved it since then. But it was all about helping each other out and like taking care of each other, hooking each other up, bringing blunts, bringing fagos, bringing a pizza, you know. And in my teenage years, I started slinging bud, made a local name for myself when I was in Texas, and yeah, so like I was a dude that had all the nice parties, had all these nice people, um, just like was living it up, and I really bonded with that, like brotherhood type of thing. Like we're down for each other. We won't snitch on each other. We'll look after each other. We'll take care of each other. And if we fight, we'll settle it the next day, you know? Like, it really opened up my eyes to that positive world. Same with Cottonmouth Kings and, strange music and all that stuff. So, and then when YouTube started popping off, I started wanting to see, man, there are other juggalos online that I can hang out with, chill with, talk to. Started getting into that. Started first one I ever saw was that the boy Blue, that goofball. But when he was recording stuff early, we didn't know about all his little crevices and ticks and all that crazy shit. But he started just meeting other juggalos online, talking and commenting and going to Juggalo News and all that stuff. And man, it was a great time. And then coming up in a few days is the 2-year anniversary of the Maui Lahaina fires. And I lost a lot in that fire. And the Juggalos and Juggalettes were the first to help me out. They sent me money. They sent me clothes. They were trying to help me communicate with people and find resources and stuff. And I love that type of family stuff. And you know what? It's kind of a socialistic society. Like, we're there for each other. We look out for each other. We'll help each other. We donate to each other's causes. We like each other's pages. We do all kinds of stuff. And that's something that a conservative can't do. You know? They blast other people for their beliefs. They, you know, don't want people to you know, I'm trying to put this in a nice way without straight dissing them, but they don't want to hear your opinion. They don't want to help other people. They, this whole of conservative thing, like, you think real juggalos are all for, deporting people and kidnapping people and going into their homes and doing that crazy stuff? No, you think they're for sexually assaulting women and hiding the Epstein files? No. You think that they're like the way that Trump is overall is you can be a conservative juggler? Not if you love the family, not if you want to end racism, not if you want to fight against it. It's you can't be a conservative juggalo. And all I did was state my opinions to that dude, and he just blocked me. Was kind of a dick and rude on a few comments, but he blocked me. So what can I say about that? But you can't be a juggalo if you're down for just exiling people and not helping out people and taking away medical benefits, Medicare, all that type of stuff. That's not what being a juggalo is about. It's about helping each other and helping others that aren't even juggalos. It's about ex- explaining to people, hey man, I like this music and you might like it too. And these are my feelings about how we should come together and we should take care of each other and this is how we should do it. It's not a hippie movement, but it's not a terrorist movement either. We're not crazy gangbangers. We're not, just insane, crazy, take everything you got and not help anybody and just throw people in cages. We're very anti, government, like, state stuff, man. Like, and we want to live our life how we want to live it. If we want to fucking bathe in Fago, if we want to be able to smoke weed or do little drugs to have a fun once in a while, or, just live whatever lifestyle, have crazy sex, be weird, We can't have this conservative stance of, oh man, you can't be gay, and oh man, because you're from this other country, we need to kick your ass out. Oh man, you need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Everyone can do it. You can just work, work, and make it somehow. It's getting worse and worse in these times, and we, could really use more juggalo isms in our fucking community, in our fucking politics, dude. Like, we all want the same thing in the end. That's the whole thing. They want to put these labels on it. We all want the same thing in the end, whether a Democrat, liberal, conservative. Conservatives are a little out there with their religious stuff, but still, we all want kind of the same goals: be able to provide for our family, have Medicare, not Medicare, medical benefits to take care of our family, to be able to survive, have cheaper rent, cheaper food, cheaper utilities, So, like, we all want the same thing: a nice family, a nice girl, a loving dog, cheaper cost of living, be able to save and own a house. And you just can't be a conservative juggalo, because that's not what you can't be a juggalo and a conservative nowadays. Maybe like conservative with your money, yeah, but political beliefs, nah, man, you're just a, a, a bigot in the end if you support these views. So I know a lot of people, slammed on Jay for coming out and voting against him, but I both of our choices sucked. I haven't voted for a presidential candidate in like 8 years because all the choices have been garbage. And you know what? It's up to us to try to fix that. So instead of doing what like I did and not voting, we should vote in our local stuff and research our stuff more and try to push the programs that help people, that make it better for us, that make it so we have lower costs, to make it so we have Medicare, make it so we have a better wage. I'm tired of both sides, left and right, stealing money from our pockets. But we can't all do this in one day. But I just wanted to let you know that I miss the days of old juggalos, and I want to say I appreciate all the juggalos and juggalettes that donated to help me when I lost everything in that fire. And yeah, much clown love. I hope you're having fun at the gathering. Thank you for everything you've done, and it'd be nice to meet some of y'all in real life or actually talk to y'all. So if you're ever bored, in a bad mood, down and out, I'm there for you, brother. Hit me up. Whoop whoop.